Okay.
Let's go. Okay. So we've got the rematch of the Nates. Was that last season that this happened?
Yeah, and they bet their names on it. And I believe they are doing that again.
Good. As is meant to be.
To find out who is the real OG Nate.
For some reason, it's not pulling the stream up, so I don't know why it's doing that.
Ben, can you see the screen? We can talk about the fact that Keldeo did not even come this week.
Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise.
Didn't come this week?
Not at all.
Oh. Ooh.
Looks like we are starting. We've got a Corviknight Yuxi and a Tauros Togekiss lead.
What do we have for names here? So I can find this battle.
DahGuyNate is his own name that he uses for now.
Gotcha. Found it. All right, here we go. Now I'm in. All right. So we got the Togekiss lead.
Yeah. Speaking of those who've frequented the tier list chat, we talked about Steel yesterday, and somebody mentioned Corviknight's mirror armor ability, which came into play right here. Seems very specifically chosen by Nate the Great in order to counteract that Intimidate from Tauros.
I would agree. I would agree with that.
I'm kind of surprised to see Tauros making an appearance here.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. Ooh. I think we're going to see some...
Immediate ally switch. Very nice.
Ooh, very nice ally switch. And the Togekiss takes that like a champ. In comes the mind games now, though, because now he has to wonder whether or not it's going to happen again.
I stand by my opinion that ally switch is one of the most centralizing moves in the game. Just because when you reveal it, I mean, every single, as long as that other mon is out on the field, every single turn becomes
a mind game.
You know? But
yeah.
Oh, okay, we've got a
There's the max guard. There's the ally switch. There's the body slam. There's the paralysis. Hey, that's what I'm talking about, baby.
I mean, overall, Nate the Great is still in a very strong position here.
I would agree. I would agree with that, even though
wild charge.
I'm a little confused.
He did get the ally switch wrong.
He predicted the ally switch, and it.
But he got the paralysis.
He did get the paralysis.
It's rough to lose a turn of Dynamax like that.
Yeah, definitely. I still think Nate is. I think Nate's in a pretty commanding position, even still being down one Pokemon. I still think he's got a great. Great chance into this.
Do we think that this Urshifu is faster than this Tauros to be able to
I think there's an Aqua Jet. I think there's an Aqua Jet with Togekiss's name on it. For real.
Probably true. Does close combat from it's at -1 from Tauros, Oko. Here we've got to protect regardless. So Bulldoze.
Interesting. I'm not sure. Wow. Okay, well, I take back what I said. I take back what I said about Nate being in a commanding position, because this just became extremely one-sided. Even down one Pokemon, he still had it pretty even, just because his Pokemon are so strong with their typing and you know what they are. But I think we kind of lost that momentum.
Do have a speed again at close combat. Nice.
Woo!
All right. We are back to fully reset on the field here, although this... Ooh.
Uh-oh. And here's the dangerous Araquanid.
And with that speed drop, Urshifu does not outspeed. So...
This Indeedee is going to instantly take that thing out with an expanding force, and I believe that Raikou is not very far behind.
Yeah, I think Araquanid is about to to do the thing.
I mean, an expanding force from Ndidi here could very well just take them both out.
That's very true. Ndidi Male, I learned the hard way during some testing with Nate. Ndidi Male, he ain't about that. He didn't come to play. He never comes to play. It didn't feel good taking a boosted expanding force to the face on both Pokemon.
It's a crazy move.
It's insane. So yeah.
Yep.
Oh, wow!
Massive Volt Switch with that amount of special defense on Araquanid, not going to take that very well.
Yeah.
It was a pretty commanding victory, I would say, from DahGuyNate.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was able to turn that around pretty well.
Yeah, I really did think that even a Pokemon down, I did still think that Nate was gonna Nate the Great was gonna take that. That's crazy.
That speed drop from the Bulldoze is really what did him in.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. I think we're gonna see some Trick Room. For real. I think we're gonna see. I want to say we're gonna see some Trick Room happening here. How
do we think that Nate the Great adjusts here? A Trick Room from Uxie, if that's a possibility, is something that could happen. But you have to keep in mind that if Nate leads the same, then Togekiss is, I believe. Well, no, actually, Corviknight undersped. So if we can get a Trick Room from Uxie, then Corviknight can much more easily take out Togekiss. So I do think that's worth thinking of.
Yeah. I think, man, it's hard to say. Unfortunately for Nate the Great, the guy Nate is up a game, so he has no reason to change up what he's got going on. It just there's no reason for him to change up anything. And Togekiss leads pretty well into most of the team, actually. So Togekiss is just a solid choice, and it has moves that either one shot or shoot whatever's on the receiving end doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the only thing that could really take it on, obviously, is Raikou, but he's got the Lightning Rod Marowak potentially in the back to stop that, which is, I believe, why Nate the Great probably didn't lead with it.
There is always the threat of Smeargle shenanigans.
That's true. There are Smeargle shenanigans. I would be interested to see whether or not the guy Nate predicts Smeargle shenanigans and how he plans to deal with that. And if he's going to hit Nate the Great with some sweet don't lead with Ndidi and then swap out the Pokemon you don't need, bring in Ndidi, ruin the fake out, and then blow out the Smeargle to prevent it from being too much of an issue.
I could certainly see that being the case. Now you have to think too, though, if the Smeargle is running Spore, does he try and get the fake out turn one, or does he hit a quick Spore if possible?
That's true. That's true.
If Nate's gonna Dynamax the Togekiss again, the fake out's pretty risky. The Spore's the safer option, I think.
I think I would agree with that 100%.
Yeah,
now,
and
Togekiss
the Spore is actually safe.
Hard, but you get the Spore off.
Yeah, what's interesting to remember though is Spore is actually safe on the Togekiss actually because it's unaffected by terrain being part flying. So even if he does max lightning to set up the electric terrain to prevent sleep, it wouldn't affect the Togekiss. So it would still get put to sleep, which might make things very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the issue. That's the issue with freaking Spore.
I also think, though, that you have to look out for this Tauros, which I'm honestly excited to kind of talk to Nate about. He's running this Tauros as a support Pokemon with the Bulldoze and the Intimidate, which I think is, something up my alley. I really, really enjoy that. And if he leads with this Tauros again, no, we do not receive Entei instead.
Changing it up.
Changing it up. And we see two of the legendary dog boys facing off against each other.
It does look like Nate the Great has specifically chosen this lead to deal with Togekiss.
I think
a Marowak switch here could be very rough.
Backbreaking. Yeah.
Now, but if this Raikou Dynamaxes, does Togekiss take it out? And also, does this Raikou predict that and try and attack that Entei slot?
Right.
I don't know what coverage Raikou gets. It
actually gets a lot of very interesting moves.
Interesting.
Predicted the fake out. Pop the berry early. That is not something you want to see a berry pop on. Not a Volt Switch. You want to see a berry pop on Thunder, Thunderbolt. You want to see it on stuff like that. You don't want to see it. He's probably saying "my God" because he faked out the Pokemon that Dynamax, so now it doesn't do anything.
Definitely caught him off guard.
No Focus Sash. What? I was not expecting that. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell, but that took me by surprise. I feel like Smeargle and Focus Sash go hand in hand in all situations.
Bringing in the Corviknight in front of a Dynamaxed Entei in the sun is an interesting move, to say the least.
Definitely questionable in my opinion, but
maybe he has something in mind that we're
maybe he's just thinking like 5 moods ahead of the rest of us.
Right, he's playing 4D chess.
In this position, this Entei is incredibly threatening. We have another Volt Switch, still does not take out that Togekiss.
That's got to be annoying. Oh,
yeah.
Wait a minute. 100%. Wait a minute. Okay, now I'm confused. I'm so confused.
Yeah, that was a huge gamble with that.
Yeah. I'm curious as to why the Dynamax on the Corviknight, knowing that it was 100% in the crosshairs, right? Like, I don't think there is a chance that exists that it's not in the crosshairs. And Entei is just free to just do whatever.
It's a strong Pokemon.
He's a very strong Pokemon.
I think that...
that's not good.
I think DahGuyNate certainly set up with the Entei lead there and the Dynamax on the Entei. One of the things that I think, and a good protect, well, not a protect read necessarily, just, risk versus reward, that the Raikou is going to go down either way.
Right.
One of the things that I think is really interesting about this season so far is we've seen this multiple times where people will lead with 2 Pokemon that both have the potential to Dynamax. And
oh no, we forgot about the terrain.
Definitely on the back foot for that whole game, though. Specifically because of that really great lead with Entei, right?
Yes, I 100% agree.
Now, another thing, though, that even outside of that, a fake out on Entei doesn't even necessarily work all the way, or most of the time at all, because Entei's usually run inner focus.
Right. Right.
So even if he had read the correct Dynamax option, I do still think he would probably be in not as great of a situation as he would have wanted.
Yeah, I definitely I agree with that. I definitely think that the Dynamax on the Entei, I think the Dynamax on the Entei into the fake out from the Smeargle, I don't know how far ahead he was with that, but it was a great call, and it certainly paid off. because as we saw, Entei was just free to do whatever.
Mhm.
I think he needed that flinch badly, and he didn't get it. So I think once he didn't get the flinch, I think that kind of paved the way for the entire rest of the fight.
Well, DahGuyNate,
maybe a
you're in
focus
here,
sash.
so why don't you tell us your opinions on the game?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, game 2 went really well. I didn't. So I had made some changes at work. I have like a Google Doc that I like keep ideas and stuff on, and I forgot to like change some moves on Entei and an item on Entei, and I meant to bring Pershing instead of Marowak. But
wow, okay. Just like I didn't even have to try, and my team still absolutely destroyed
it worked. I mean, you know, it was like 4 things. Like, whatever.
So,
Game 1, I like completely like blanked my mind that Corviknight was Steel and Steel was good against Togekiss. Like,
yeah.
I Dynamax and I was like, I'm in no danger here, and then he hit me and I was like, oh, uh-oh.
Yeah,
Because I had done so much like prep, like thinking about Raikou.
Yeah, we were a little concerned because even a Pokemon down on you, he was still in a very commanding position with just one Pokemon down because all of your moves were missing the proper target because of ally switch. So we were just like, man, he is getting played by this so hard.
And like a big idea that I had was Bulldoze with Tauros.
Yeah.
So then going out and being like, oh, a Uxie and a Corviknight, I guess I'm not doing that. And then eventually seeing Air Balloon on Raikou kind of stopped that as well.
Well, one of the things that worked really well for you though was that Urshifu, right? So that Urshifu is it can be surprisingly fast, and I do feel like the max speed. Or do you have max speed on your Tauros?
Yeah, max speed on Tauros.
Yeah, so max speed Bulldoze support Tauros. You know, I'm a fan of unconventional support mon. I really like that with the Intimidate lead. I think that worked really well in your favor. And the speed drop right beside your Togekiss, who's not affected by it, I think is a smart move, and also put you on the front end of that first game, put you ahead, which was really cool to watch.
The first game, I eventually just got lucky and got a Bulldoze and then got a Paralyze. I mean, I think that at that point, once he paralyzed, like I can't remember what I killed. Oh, I killed the Urshifu, and I was like, okay, like I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I think it tells you when you have pressure. It tells you Pokemon.
Did I have pressure?
Okay, so you did not have pressure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot that pressure. It tells everyone that you have it. So the fake out would not have mattered.
It wouldn't have mattered at all.
So I think that was potentially a misplay on Nate the Great's part, and he should have gone for the Spore immediately, just on the off chance that he lives. But he didn't have the focus sash, so I
was expecting the sash, and that's why I did the Dazzling Gleam. And then game 2, going into it, I was like, all right, let me. I definitely don't want to bring in Dede first because I was worried that Zoro arc would be coming out.
Right. When I didn't see the focus sash, I was like, well, I don't know what else has the focus sash. Like, I mean, I guess you could give it to Zoroark, but the problem is it hits so hard and it's so fast that like most things that it hits probably don't live long enough to even do anything about it anyway. And the mind games that Zoroark creates is just insane.
That's one thing that I see looking at Nate the Great's team is between Smeargle, Zoroark, and Ally Switch, he has like massive mind game capabilities.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I'm a little disappointed to not see more of those mind games because there was massive potential here. And I've tested with Nate's team, Nate the Great's team, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun with his team because it's it's so versatile. Like you can do anything with that team. Raikou has several different sets that it can run. I don't know. I guess I'm just confused a little bit about the non-focus sash.
Yeah, between not having a focus sash and then not having, I assume it wasn't scarfed because he used fake out. I don't know what the item would be.
I figured not seeing Entei is exerting its pressure, that there would be some like, okay, I did not see those words. I know not to fake this out.
Because I think people forget about inner focus a lot.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Well, and you know, if you don't, it's a relatively forgettable ability, honestly. I think, but one that
I agree.
Also, in a Dynamax format, I feel like it's forgotten even more, right? Because you're more focused about, I'm worried about who's about to Dynamax, and I'm going to fake out the Pokemon that doesn't, right?
Right.
And I think that I'm honestly excited about Gen 9 potentially not having Dynamax so that we can get
Megas?
Value back out of fake out. Because one of the things that I mentioned during this game that we watched, and that I think you use very well, and we've seen multiple times throughout the season so far, has been multiple threats on one side of the field, and you're not sure which one is about to Dynamax.
Yeah.
And so you fake out the wrong one, and instantly you're on the back leg of that game, which is what you used to your advantage there in that second one, right?
Yeah, I assumed that. Honestly, I was most scared about Spore and him having a scarf on there. So I was going to Dazzling Gleam and like double into it no matter what, just out of fear. The fake out point is an interesting point with the Dynamax because it really makes it that like you're going to go fake out whatever support mon is out there that you know is not going to Dynamax.
Right. Mm-hmm. We actually talked about that. I don't know if it was Cepherus that mentioned it or if it was Xlelius that mentioned it, but we were 100% expecting Spore turn 1 because I mentioned fake out, and one of those two mentioned like maybe he'll skip the fake out altogether and just go straight into the Spore, which would just be potentially backbreaking if he guesses correctly and it happens to be the Dynamax Pokemon.
Yep.
Speaking of, we have Na8thegra8 in here. What's up, man? Is he there?
He's unmuted.
I think he's looking for you to actually call him by his real name now.
Oh no. Oh, I haven't seen it. What is it?
What's the new name?
I wouldn't want to steal his thunder if he wants to announce it.
Okay. Would you like to tell us your new name?
You're talking to me, right? I like my audio was messed up there for a second.
Gotcha.
No, you're good, man.
Yeah, I'm legally changing my name to Mason with a jar.
Well, Mason, it is a pleasure having you in the room. I think the thing we're all most curious about is tell us that Smeargle set, man.
Oh, it was just like a panic move. I knew I needed to do something not like I did the first game, pretty much. I wasn't expecting Indeedee to come in the back, and so I kind of needed, just like I was kind of hoping for a way to kind of heckle him a little bit while getting something done. I also wasn't expecting, Entei game 2. I wasn't expecting it to do as much damage as it did.
Yeah, we can agree with that because we were pleasantly surprised when we saw the Entei because we 100% expected. Well, at least I did. I expected it's not broken, don't fix it lead.
Right.
For sure. So,
and I think that a lot of times, and you know, I'm guilty of this myself. Like if something works, you stick with it, right? But I feel like a lot of times you can gain the upper hand by trying to counter what your opponent's counter is going to be, right? And so I think that Nate did that pretty well in that second game. He said, I know that my opponent really wants to stop what happened last game from happening again. And so how do I upper hand? What selection do I pick that helps me get ahead of whatever I think is going to happen next.
Right.
I don't think I should have won game 1. So that was a big reason on me switching it up game 2.
I'm on your team, and I agree with that.
Yeah, I got really lucky on like a paralyze, and then
like even like I said, even a Pokemon down, I was like, Nate the Great is gonna smash him even with one Pokemon down, because like this is just yeah, I agree.
So you had Fake Out on that Smeargle. What else did you have on there?
Nuzzle, Spore, and what else? Let me see.
Nuzzle. That's a good one. That's a great one.
And Follow Me, which I went into this match with the full intention of not using Smeargle at all, so he wasn't really set up particularly for this match.
If you don't mind me asking, who had your Focus Sash?
Actually, that was Yuxi. So plan here is Trick Room, Imprison, and Expanding Force as well, which could have been really nasty if I had ever been in the right position to pull it off.
Right.
I don't think Expanding Force works for you because you're levitating.
No,
what he
it's
was saying was using Imprison to stop you from using Expanding Force on Indeedee.
Yes.
Without
and Trick Room as well.
Indeedee gets shut down pretty hard.
Yeah, especially when it had a scarf on it. Yeah, it would have been pretty bad.
Yeah, wow.
Well, that's some smart thinking right there. That's some prep for your ass right there. Holy moly.
God dang.
He must have picked that up from my game with you.
I think that just goes to show that like sometimes really prepping for one thing you think is going to come and then being surprised when it doesn't show up, even though it came in the end, right? Like you leading with Yuxi and then him keeping Indeedee in the back. If he had led with that Indeedee, that easily could have completely ended the battle in a couple of turns from the very beginning. You'd be on the front end of that fight from the very beginning.
Yep.
And Nate, you choosing to keep that in the back for cleanup at the very end. Both games, honestly, definitely seems like it put you out on top.
I was pretty convinced that your Shifu would probably come out later, and Dede's just gonna one-shot your Shifu unless it Dynamaxes, and then it might even be a roll if it Dynamaxes. So, it was almost entirely there just for your Shifu.
Gotcha. Yeah. I opted not to bring him game 2. I'm struggling to find how to use him properly with a combination of like his squishiness and his speed's not incredible.
Yeah, it's a weird like. It's faster than most, but not faster than what you need it to be faster than.
Yeah, exactly.
And he hits like an absolute truck. Like he hits like a truck. You just got to get him to the hitting part without him dying.
Yeah, I was, if I would have found out that like, oh, you had scarfed it or something, I'm pretty sure my bug would have been able to take a couple hits of that just because I think I'm like I quad resist water with water bubble. So that was one of my ideas.
Oh, let me ask. I was curious. So when you switched Araquanid in the very last turn, and it was protected by the Psychic terrain, does that have something to do with priority moves?
Yes.
Psychic terrain protects your Pokemon from your opponent's priority moves.
Okay.
Yep. I think, terrain on the whole field, like if they're touching the ground, they can't get hit by a priority move.
Yeah. Okay. You can still get hit by priority moves if they're used by your own Pokemon, though.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you've got like a Colossal up and you want to Aqua Jet it, you can do that in Psychic Terrain.
Yep.
But the opponent can't do that.
I switched in Araquanid at the very end because Entei needed all 4 kills. He deserved it.
He's padding his stats.
Yeah.
A man of culture.
To be fair, that actually might hurt Araquanid's KOs per game.
Yeah.
So
well, that turns Entei into an instant beast on the stats.
Yeah, I unfortunately don't get any stats this week, but that's fine. Here we go. Whew, well, I am. That was enjoyable. I enjoyed that. That was That was enjoyable. I mean, I know things didn't go your way, Nate the Great, but your Pokemon had good showing. I mean, your team has so much potential. It's actually insane. I've tested your team. Zoroark alone is ridiculous.
Yeah,
because there's nothing more satisfying than throwing out a Raikou and then throwing out a Raikou, and your opponent's like, "Come on, dude, really? All right, which one of you fuckers is gonna nasty plot and fucking try to kill me? Which one of you fuckers is gonna nasty plot?" So you got a lot of really good stuff on your team, and I'm looking forward to seeing good things from you in the future.
Yeah, they were good games, well played, enjoyable to watch.
Thanks, guys.
Guys. Any final thoughts from either of you guys?
Good games. You kicked my ass.
I put a lot of thought into this.
So you're changing your name to Mason in Discord or like
legally across the board.
He's going to the courthouse today.
Spoilers, already at the courthouse.
Wait, are you being serious?
You can take nothing.
You think we joke about that? Why would we joke about something this serious?
Because of how serious it is.
Oh God.
I don't know who to believe now. Like, bro.
Next.
Oh my God. Are you, dude? If you actually do change your name, please take a picture and show me that shit.
I will.
Are you actually gonna change your name? Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't. I fucking can't.
And on that disappointing note.
Do it. Change your name.
All right.